Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Bonsai Apprentice. Today we are going to be working on my American red maple forest. These trees need a lot of work. They had a very vigorous growing season. Check out the playlist card, it's up there. I've had to trim it back twice. I defoliated, I leaf pruned. These trees are vigorous, they're young, they're all 3-year trees right now, all varying in different thicknesses, different lengths, things like that. So I'm going to take you through my process. I think it's going to be a 2 video. The first one's just going to be me talking about how I sketch, what I look for in these trees after 3 years of owning them, and then what we'll be doing in the next video is actually doing that process, wiring some of the branches down, and putting them into places where they can continue to develop in the future and add to the overall aesthetic of the tree. So without further ado, let's dive in. We're going to look at the front of the tree first, of the forest first, I guess. Talk about, kind of what a forest shape should look like, and then what we'll do is come back and I'll chalk out and talk about where I want cuts to be, what I look for in cuts, and do some general cleaning on the tree too. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, guys, so here's the forest. I put it against this background. You can kind of see, so this is the front, right about there. The wire marks it roughly. You can see this little path. It's higher on this side, lower on this side. So what we'll be doing is making it a triangle shape and cutting it back all the way around. But today I'm going to be marking it and clearing it out. You can see it right there. It's a different color. But as we're cleaning these out, always be aware of not nipping any buds. And also just taking the general shape of how your trees look, what you like about them, where you see buds. This is part of the cleaning process and is always advised that you do, just to make your trees look better. And as you study your trees more and more and more and have a better idea of what you want them to do long term, you have a better idea of what to achieve and what your goals are with each tree. So just keep those in mind as you go along, cutting out some of these older, pairs of 3s that were here. So, we left room for dieback. We're getting rid of the dieback. Tis what it is. So like I said, keep that in mind. Study your trees as you're doing this. Look for branches that could potentially be removed, branches that need to be removed. Imperfections in the tree, obviously, like this one has a whole bunch up here. It's an imperfection. I'm not even going to deal with that right now, because I think I'm just going to cut the whole bit off, but that's besides the point. But yeah, just study your tree as you're doing this and, learn more and more about it. It's always a part of the game. So I encourage everyone to do it. And, this is a great time of year. It is January 21st. I don't know if I said that. And it is 54 degrees here in Missouri. So really, really warm for January, which is why I'm out here today doing this work. So we don't usually get days like this. So I feel comfortable in shorts and a t-shirt with a jacket. So I figured, we haven't done bonsai in a while. It's been too cold and miserable out. So let's get it done. So, all right, I'm done cleaning for the most part. I did a lot of that process off camera. But now we're going to start. We'll take it back to the front here. And I got a piece of chalk with me. And what I'm just going to do is look at the overall profile and roughly like where I think branches should be. Obviously you want your tallest trees in the front and your shortest trees in the back. So I'll be looking at that too. For me personally, I think what I'm going to do is work from the outside in and see where that gets me. So obviously this is my front tree. And it also happens to be my tallest tree. It's too tall. We will be cutting this back to help create some better taper. But for now, this is a good section of this tree. So what I'm thinking, if, this part is roughly where my first highest tree is. You know, this one's got to be somewhere around here. Mark it with a little piece of chalk right there. Maybe, if it works. There it goes. You know, just a little piece of white. Boop. And then, you know, this one's way in the front. So I think I'd take this one, like, you know, a lot lower. Somewhere around there. Probably. Which means something over here is going to have to be way, you know, maybe down here even. And then this one out here we'll have to really see and wait, maybe play with. So, you know, something like that, you know, just looking at it overall. You know, and as you go back, you want, you know, a little bit, you know, lower, and then a little bit, you know, and you want to create different levels in your tree as you go up. And so what I'm thinking is, you know, and you're going to look from the side too and see, okay, is it going to dip back? What am I going to do with some of these branches? But before I really get into that, what I want to do is some of these branches I know that are going to come down, I want to just go ahead and wire those. So I can see, okay, this is going to be an exterior branch coming out from over the pot. This is going to be a side branch. It's going to be growing out and collecting energy for the tree in that regard. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just got some wire. I'm just going to wrap it and pull it and put it kind of in position where I want them to be. That way I'm not looking at multiple trunk lines, multiple expositions, and seeing. Some of them, so like I exampled this here, I got two trees fairly close together with two branches growing basically the same way. And so what I'm going to probably do is look at, okay, this one has nice movement. This one's, you know, decently straight, but this branch is thinner than this one. So what I'm probably going to do is take this one over and back and take, you know, if I take this one down, it'll come this way just slightly, but this one's going to come real short, whereas this one probably going to be cut around here and left. Okay. And so when you're doing this, you know, really pay attention to that. Something like this tree with this long piece here stretching all the way out, and then this little bit here, okay, it's because this one was overshadowing. So when I come back and I cut this off, which I will be, which I might even do now, okay, so I'm just going to do that because I don't want to save any of that. And this is in the back, so this tree needs to be shortest, one of the shorter ones. So leave room for dieback, pop, off it goes. There it is on the ground. Okay, so that tree, so this piece here now will probably become the primary leader on this. And this piece is going to come back and come short. All right. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut anything I wire out and pull down. If it has downward facing branches, so something like this, that will, okay, when I pull it out, it'll have a downward facing, two downward branches. I'm going to cut those. Anything growing straight up, I will also cut off. Okay. So we're just going to do that. We're going to go through this tree, do that cleaning process, and see where that takes us on the ends. And then we will come back. Okay. All right, so we are back. I wired out most of the branches in the back that I know for a fact I'm going to keep. I'm just not sure what to what length when I push in, and what taper I'm going to have to build. One thing I will say is if you wire a branch like this, it won't hurt the tree. It shouldn't hurt the tree anyways, I should say, as long as it's not any crazy bending or anything like that. But do keep in mind that these are deciduous trees. These trees are very young. So, you know, by the end of April, these will be done. There will be no, you know, the wire will not be on here. It'll be cutting in. We'll have to cut all of it off. So at this point, really, you know, it's to keep it in the shape I want it, where I want it. But it's not a long-term fix for some of these things. Okay. It's not going to be permanent. Keep that branch there. It is a wire to keep it in place so I can see, you know, my overall profile of every tree and what I want it to look like. Okay. So that's really the starting line. And you can still see most of the trees are not, you know, in the shape I still want them. So the next thing we'll be looking at when cutting is cutting to where a bud is. What I would love to see is back bud. So you cut it to where a bud is. That tree will back bud. Further down below, you use that later in the future, okay? I don't like this, oh, well, you know, somewhere up in here, pop, it'll sprout from there. Some trees will do that. Sometimes you have to make that call. These are not trees I feel I will have to make that call. So when I'm looking at it, you know, leaving room for dieback is the right choice, especially at this time of year. It is still winter. You know, come back in the spring, clean it up. But look at your taper, look at your line, look at other things in that regard, and how you can make better movement and taper and stuff like that by clip and grow. For being so young, it's gonna look more natural. 2, it'll keep your ramification nice, and it'll keep it tidy. So don't do Hail Mary cuts. Realize that this wire is here just to guide for the length, keep vigor in the tree. As I'm seeing these buds get really ready to pop, I'll go pop. All right, we'll use what back budding we get. Hopefully we get more, and we start building ramification from that. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll tune in a week or a couple days. You know, I'll put these out pretty much back to back, hopefully, and you can enjoy, you know, what we've got here. So in other news, sayonara. Oh, sorry, before I go, because I didn't do like an official, you know, like, share, and subscribe. Please do. Please like, please share, please subscribe. If you want to help me get to Japan and my future endeavors, whenever things open up and are less crazy, please donate to my GoFundMe. It would be awesome. So hopefully you can enjoy this and help me out. So sayonara.